you've got a lot of gyms. They're running PT. Okay, I came from a PT background, one-on-one. That was my bread and butter. I built a big business for that. Then I started owning my own gyms. And the philosophy that I always had was sell the solution. Don't just sell a membership or access to a facility. Give them a solution. And it was always selling training first. The membership was simple after that, right? I mean, like, you got to get a membership.
Each club is different. We can see coaches that are bought in and they're going to push the system. And we see coaches that are kind of, I don't know about this. Mm-hmm. We automatically identify those coaches like, this is not good for your brand. They're not going to push your brand. They're not going to sell your brand. And most importantly, they're not going to increase your revenue stream. It's super important to hire the right people.
Jeff, Jacqueline, thanks for joining. So glad to have you guys on the show. Just to give the audience a little bit of perspective on what you guys are doing, a little bit about Tribe. You guys are kind of doing your best to pave the way on small group training. There's team training, there's small group training. You guys are really kind of building this whole momentum. This thing came all the way over from across the pond. You guys now have ownership of it. Jeff, you've got some accolades in the training industry. You've got some awards, and now you guys are in this position where you own this thing, and you're making waves across the U.S. on implementing small group training into clubs who maybe don't really know how to do it. So tell me, where is your primary market? I mean, you guys are here on the East Coast just like me. Where's your primary target market?
Jack, you want me to take the first one?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, our primary market, Michael, is anybody that wants to make money, any club owner that wants to increase their revenue. So you can go from your big clubs like your One Lives all the way down to mom and pops like the club that we work at, Inlet Fitness in Virginia Beach, Virginia. What really separates us from other groups, your small, as you said, small group, small class, is that we're the only turnkey small group solution in the fitness industry, meaning that once you get certified in Tribe, you run with it. Our hands are off. What we are going to provide you with is your training, your seasons, your marketing, everything else that you need to drive Tribe. But we kind of let you, we're hands off at that point. We have structured progressive programs that keep our members engaged. We have comprehensive coach education, and that ensures that high quality delivery. So if one coach leaves, another coach comes in and gets trained and does the same exact thing. And our marketing support helps drive member signups and retention. So we're doing with Tribe, and what separates us and makes us the turnkey is that it's designed to boost retention, to increase the revenue and create a thriving community within the four walls of your club.
So don't you think this might be a little, overhyped a bit? I mean, you got all these other models out there. You got F45, you got OrangeTheory, you got Barry's Boot Camp. They actually did quite well, but they've slowed down on their growth. You got BFT, you got Fit Body Boot Camp. I could go down the list. And then even Alloy, right? Rick Mayo, I had him on the show, and he started out similar to how you guys are doing this, where he was going into gyms, primarily Anytime Fitness, and he sat on the board with them, and he would go into gyms and he'd sell this license. But then it didn't quite work out the way that he wanted it to. According to him, he wanted a different model, and he ended up opening his own location. So, number one, is this really worth it? And number two, you got a lot of competition. So how do you really separate yourself?
Well, the first thing I say is the first club you mentioned was F45. So let's just use them as a baseline example. Okay. So F45, that's a franchise-based model that requires the clubs to fully adopt all their branding, their equipment, their operational structure, and often with super high upfront ongoing costs. Now, Tribe, on the other hand, is a small group training solution that integrates seamlessly into the club's existing brand and business model. This gives the owners complete control and flexibility without the constraints of the big word is franchise, which you mentioned, F45, Les Mills, your Barry's Boot Camps. And quite honestly, Michael, here's what sets us apart. We don't have any franchise fees, and we have no rebranding required. So right when we club into your club, we're not asking you to switch anything up. We're asking to sit alongside your Group X classes, your yoga, your spin, whatever else you might have inside your club. And Tribe lets clubs keep their identity, but we also add high quality structured training programs. F45, as you mentioned before, requires a complete shift in branding, layout, and operations. And we don't require that. Well, our ask is you have a room where you can do it, and that it has some symbols or some logos that know when a Tribe members come into a Tribe training session that, we're in the Tribe training room. We're not in the dusty Group X room that's now the Tribe room. What also separates us from like an F45 is we have a progressive training model. Our tribe runs on seasonal progression system, means that the members improve over time and they build a long-term commitment. Now, F45, we're just going to keep using this as an example, is like kind of like a randomized circuit style training, which lacks long-term structure and individualized progress, right? The members come in, come out. I don't feel like coming today. I don't feel like coming tomorrow. The biggest thing though, let's talk about, and this is what the owners and club owners are going to care about most, is it's more affordable and profitable. Your F45, that requires like significant financial investment up front. You got your franchise fees, your F45 equipment, the marketing, et cetera, et cetera. While Tribe is a low cost, high return solution. I'll give you an example. For one module of Tribe, if you want to run one of our 6 modules in our family of modules, it's going to cost you, Jack, what does it cost you? $300, right? And that's for the month. Now, if you run one Tribe off that one module with 10 people in it, you're going to make $2,000. So you're already seeing a return of investment of $1,700. Every session of Tribe that runs is a profit-driven session, meaning you're going to set the price of what that club is going to run Tribe at, be it from $50 a session to our club runs $299 for the season, the 8-week season. When Tribe runs, it generates profit every single time. And if there's no Tribe to run, then you're not losing any money on it.
Okay.
I don't know if that answers your question.
No, it does a little bit, but I got a follow up. So you said that, there's one module, right? And you have different seasons. So are you alluding to the fact that there's each module is a season?
Well, we have 6 modules.
Okay.
And we run our year and we break it down into 6 8-week seasons. So no season's ever the same. No workout's ever the same. For instance, one season we could work on strength development and endurance. The next season we could push VO2 max. The next season we could do progressive overload.
Okay, so we're looking at $1,200 for all 6 modules.
Well, no, the price goes down. So if you want to do one module is $300, the next one I believe is at $450. 3 modules is $500 and that's just for the licensing fees.
Okay,
but if you're running 3 modules, most clubs can generate anywhere from, depending on how many modules, how many teams are going to run, anywhere from an additional $50,000 to $250,000 a year in extra revenue off of small group training.
Okay, so are you guys requiring certain equipment? I mean, one of the things that you said was there's no rebranding required, but then at the same time, your product is branded Tribe. So how does that work?
Yeah, so we do provide equipment lists for each of the modules. And while we provide that list, the club owners have a choice of what type of equipment they want to get, whether it's Model A for the kettlebell or they want to use a different type. That's completely fine.
How much space do they need?
Oh, we have Tribes that run in old school racquetball courts that have been rebranded as Tribe rooms. They've got refitted. We have clubs that have dedicated Tribe rooms. Sometimes they use the Group X room. As far as space, each club is individual. Like each club has its own like ecosystem and how it works. We don't say you need X space to work it. We will say that's not enough space, but as far as how much space, there's not really a beginning and an end. We just know what is not enough space.
Okay, so
but most clubs, back to the equipment, most clubs already have that existing equipment in there. Most clubs will have the sus trainers or the kettlebells, the dumbbells, the barbells. Mm-hmm. The only thing that might be needed if they run one of our modules is called Tribe Life, which is low impact functional exercises, and we use the Viper. So if they're going to run Tribe Life, they may need to purchase the Viper.
So what's this look like on a profitability versus value? I mean, again, going back to this whole idea of small group training or team training or whatever you want to call it, small group personal training, semi-private training. I've talked to plenty of business owners who are selling their concept or their formula to have a gym owner operate their specific platform for small group or for any version of that name. And here you guys are, you're doing, a similar thing. I feel it's a little different, but at the same time, what should they expect? Because people are going to, get down to numbers. They're going to go, okay, I'm going to give you X, call it $1,000 a month because I'm saving for
Oh, we'd love that.
Like,
That means we're running all the modules
Yeah.
plus some, and you're giving us extra on the side. We'd love that. So any club owners out there, if you want to give us $1,000, excellent. We're on board.
so if I'm running with that, right, my spend is 1,000. What's the average return on that for the gym owner as a gross, right? Because obviously you got your expenses on your staff, which I'm assuming you guys help with what that cost should be for payout, but we'll get into that in a second. But what's the average gross amount that they'll receive?
Well, do you want to take that, Jackie, or want to let me?
Oh, go ahead.
All right. So a couple of things. We talked about unlike other programs, we're not requiring huge upfront costs. We're not requiring a bunch of equipment that you need to buy. It's a low barrier, high return model. But your question is, what's the cost? Clubs can pretty quickly recoup their investment, often within the first couple of seasons, because Tribe is designed to be profitable, self-sustaining program right from day one. Most clubs, and I'm going to use our club as an example, it was about 60 to 90 days. And we're talking about a complete retro refit. So I'm going to give you a little backstory. Our club, our Inlet Fitness, were 2 levels. And on the downstairs level, half of it was a women's gym only, where only the women can go in. Can you imagine that? Is only
I do. I remember working with Gold's Gym. They had private rooms for women.
Right. So just women only, right?
Talk about segregation.
Right. They're crazy. Like when we see old pictures, we're like, anyways, that's a side story. So they cracked this wall down, and our club is beautiful. It sits right on the water. We have windows all around, right on the inlet. So they turfed it, painted it, put racks in, bought equipment. So we're talking a pretty big recoup. They saw return on investment within 90 days because our club, first of all, Jack is the head coach at our club. She made sure that we were going to be set up for success to begin with. Okay. She made sure that all the coaches were in line, that we recruited for our teams. And Tribe is basically, for every coach that runs Tribe, it's their own personal business. Just like, here's your business. You can fill it up with however many people you want, or you can fill it up with no people you want, but it's your business. Do you want to make money on your business? Right. So back to your question, it's about 90 days. And Jack made sure that she filled up our teams and she helped us fill up our teams. And we were profitable after the second season. We were making money.
So, yeah. So what is that, Jacqueline? What's the number that's coming in the door? I mean, you guys have an average from maybe the other locations that have been operating for a while?
Yeah. So, just for example, at our club, it's $249 a season. So if we're charging that per head and we have,
Jack, it's $299.
Yeah. Well, it's now $299, but I'm going off $249. So let's say it's about 30,000. If we have 11 tribes running, that's per season. That's the amount of revenue. Obviously, it depends on how much each coach is getting paid. We offer about 45%. Some clubs might pay a flat fee, but we pay based on the amount of tribe members that you get in for each tribe. So there's incentive to recruit and build up your teams.
Okay. So is it, so do you guys offer that information out to those who are licensing what their comp structure should be? Because a lot of gym owners struggle with this just in general. Sure. So taking on a new program and going, ooh, what do I pay? Yeah, that's
so Michael. What we do is when we sit down with a club, be if they just have one club or if they have multiple clubs, we give them a cost analysis sheet. It's basically an Excel play sheet that says, okay, if you have X club or you're running X amount of tribes, and if you pay your head coach or you pay your coach $50 a session, this is how much money you can expect to generate after a season. Now, if you pay your coach 35%, this is what you can expect to generate. Now, if you run 5 tribes and we have everything covered so they can see those numbers without the guesswork. But then if a club runs it across multiple clubs, that's where we can start to offer discounts. Like we're not going to bang them in the head. If they're getting our brand out there and they're making money, we're happy. Like I said, we're not expensive. We're not expensive at all. We'll go to a Les Mills. A Les Mills costs about $1,000 a month, but you're not seeing any return on investment. That's a cost center. Mm-hmm. Where Tribe is now, every session that runs, it's a profit center. So you can pay your Les Mills. Sorry, go ahead.
No. What are the gym owners charging the customer?
Yeah,
well, as Jack mentioned, it's $299 a season for.
Oh, okay. I thought you guys were saying it's $299 for. I was getting confused by the module cost. in season costs
Okay,
versus
so
what the
module
customers. Okay.
Sure. The module costs, I think one module is 200.
Okay.
Two modules is 400. I might be wrong on this, but and then three modules is 500, and then we cap out at 650.
Okay.
So if you're all six modules at 650 a month.
But the end customer, if they want to do small group training, what you're saying is they pay $299 a month. And
Correct.
is it unlimited training that they get with a coach?
Yeah, so it is based on the 8 weeks. So they are guaranteed those 16 sessions. What's great about at Inlet Fitness, if they end up missing a session, we're very flexible on them making it up in other sessions. So if they come on Monday, Wednesday, and they miss one of the sessions, they can come on the weekend and jump into another coach's session.
Okay.
So they're guaranteed those 16 within that.
With like a rollover.
We don't, they have to, it's like a use it or lose it. They have to use it within that season.
Okay. And are the customers paying, the customer, let's say I'm the gym. Okay. And I'm using I'm licensing your program. The customers are still paying me, the gym owner, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Once you've licensed it for us, we're done.
Okay.
You do. I'll give you an example. We have one club that takes a hybrid of Tribe Life and Tribe Core and kind of merges it together. So once they pay the licensing fee, they can present the program however much they like, however they want. And back to what Jack was saying, how many times do they see? We have modules that run 2 days and 3 days a week.
Okay.
So we have a Tribe 2 day and then a Tribe 3 day.
So I want to get to this because I've asked it a couple different ways. What's the revenue that someone's going to generate? Your average gym owner, what are they going to generate per month? What's their revenue lift, right? They go, man, I'm doing this. I'm running small group training. I got Tribe using their program, and I should expect what lift?
Again, that depends on how many tribes they run, how many members they have in Tribe. I mean, we give you the tools, and it's up to you to execute how you're going to run Tribe. So it's designed to be a high margin revenue driver. So on average, like I said, clubs can see anywhere from $50K extra a year to up to $250K extra a year in additional revenue. It all depends on their membership base and how many teams they run. But the beauty of us is that our program, it fosters a super high retention rate. Both Jack and I have our original teams from 2018. They do not leave unless pregnancy or they're moving.
Or move.
It's far beyond what traditional group fitness offers. Many clubs overall see an increase in membership retention because of Tribe.
Okay. Well, that's a good ROI on that one. So, that all being said, you've got a lot of gyms. They're running PT. Okay. I came from a PT background, one-on-one. That was my bread and butter. I built a big business off of that. Then I started owning my own gyms. And the philosophy that I always had was sell the solution, don't just sell a membership or, access to a facility. Give them a solution. And it was always selling training first. And then the membership was simple after that, right? I mean, like you got to get a membership. But the solution for training was here's what you're doing. We go through this whole process. How are you guys selling this to customers? I think that's for me, talking to a lot of different gym owners, the things that I see and the gaps that I think get missed, right? There's a lot of opportunities left on the table because they don't have referral campaigns going. They don't have reactivation campaigns going. They don't even know how to ask for referrals. They have a hard time keeping their members. They don't know what to do to keep them. They don't have a true marketing strategy for the entire year. They don't know how to follow up with customers. They think after the first or second time they talk to somebody, that's the end of it. So there's a lot of gaps. And when I look at that, trying to implement something when a lot of gyms, this is common across gyms, I'm sure you guys have seen it. When they have all these gaps, how are they going to implement something like this that gives them confidence that it will be that $50K to extra $250K a year in lift in their revenue? What strategies, what sales, what marketing, what things are you guys teaching them so that way they go, all right, I got the license, perfect. Now I'm going to go implement this thing and it's going to run like a dream.
Jack, you want to kind of explain how
Yeah.
we opened up Tribe at Inlet?
And I think touching on what Jeff had stated previously about us being a turnkey solution,
Mm-hmm.
we're not just selling the license, we're not just selling the program. We are selling and offering support as well from a business perspective. So we will definitely do the hand holding of walking you through of how to price out the cost for the members, how much you should be charging and paying your coaches, and actually guiding you through the numbers. But then we're going to be offering support calls, checking in with them, making sure that they have the tools, because realistically, they need to hire the right people and the right coaches. And so offering that leadership support and kind of guiding them along the way is, and instead of just handing everything over saying, here, this is what we've done. Because what works at one club might not work at another club. So it's really kind of like customizing and understanding where they're coming from, what issues they run into, because each club is going to be different, whether or not they have group fitness to complement it. Maybe they need to do more marketing if they don't have those members in the door. So it's really kind of looking at a holistic approach and not saying, hey, everybody's going to fit into this because we have a proven method. It worked for us. And so really just taking the time to understand the market, what their needs are, if they're running into issues with retention, if they're seeing members drop off, why is that? Diagnosing, kind of help provide different solutions so that they do see the same success.
How long does it take to get somebody up and running?
Yeah, so ideally, and Jeff, you can correct me if I'm wrong, it took us, I would say, like about 6 weeks from once we realized that we were going to launch Tribe. And we went through the training. So it's really it's up to the club on how fast they want to execute. So it really just depends on the resources they have and how quickly they want to get it up and running. But Jeff, do you want to chime in on that?
Yeah, I do. I'll kind of want to go backwards a little bit about you were saying. So once, as you said, like Jack said perfectly, like it's not we just hand over, all right, your license, good luck. That's not what we do.
Right.
I do it all. So we're very hands-on. One of our theme is one team, one tribe. So just as you mentioned prior to us recording, whatever Tribe is doing week 1, day 1 in Virginia Beach, Virginia, they're also doing in Sandusky, Ohio. They're also doing in Auckland, New Zealand. Everybody's on the same week 1, day 1 program. So every season we deliver, the expert design, AKA Jack and us, periodized workouts for Tribe in all of our modules. The clubs don't have to spend time creating, testing, or modifying workouts. But the biggest thing, which you were mentioning, is like, well, how do I roll it out? Mm-hmm. When we talk to clubs, they receive a complete marketing toolkit, which means their social media content, their promotional videos, their posters and flyers, their email templates, their sales scripts and strategies. That means that clubs don't have to figure out like, oh my God, how am I going to market that? Michael, we take care of that for them. We make it so all they have to do, like the old Office Max commercial, press the easy button. And we provide step-by-step system how to launch it, how to sell it, and how to grow it. And as Jack mentioned, each club is different. I'm going to give you an example. We went to a club in Vermont as one of the first clubs that Jack and I went to train other coaches at. And we're looking at coaches. We can see coaches that are bought in and they're going to push the system. And we see coaches that are kind of, I don't know about this. Mm-hmm. We automatically identify those coaches like, this is not good for your brand. They're not going to push your brand. They're not going to sell your brand. And most importantly, they're not going to increase your revenue stream. So as Jack mentioned, it's super important to hire the right people. And it might not always be a trainer. It might be a group fitness instructor. Right. It might be someone behind the front desk that has knowledge in fitness. We train them how to be Tribe coaches and how to do the Tribe delivery system. And our retention model ensures that members stay engaged. And the biggest part is they keep coming back season after season, which guess what? Increases returning revenue. All right. But also Tribe also integrates in seamlessly into membership upsells. So we've had members that our friend's doing Tribe, but I'm not a member at Inlet Fitness. Well, to do Tribe at Inlet, you have to be a member. So guess what? Now are they doing Tribe and they're also a brand new member. So we're not just, here are the keys to Tribe, go. We want to make sure that their success is our success.
So let's talk about industry disruption for a second. We're seeing a huge shift in the way that AI well, machine learning still at this point, but AI is transforming the way that gym owners communicate, gym owners operate within their business, trainers working within the way that they're designing programs, apps and tools out there that are helping trainers and coaches, but also helping clients and giving them this flexibility or concept of an idea that they can do this stuff even easier on their own now, and they don't have to pay as much for a coach. And, then you see the shift in the way that gyms are operating. I just got off another show with a buddy of mine from Matrix, and their whole focus is strength equipment right now. I mean, it's not that they're trying to push that. It's just that that's what gym owners want because of the shift in the minds of the consumers and their level of comfort to go into gyms and be okay being a woman, standing there and lifting weights and not feeling like they're out of place. And even other, men and women walking into gyms and thinking, the cardio section is not where I need to go. And a lot of this comes down to the information that they're getting and more of this being available to them a lot easier. So how does, small group training really fit into that? I mean, things are shifting, right? I remember a couple years ago, and they still happen sometimes, but huge boot camps, right? I mean, take up fields, you rent out football fields and you have these huge boot camps going on. And we started before that with the group training, which was a relatively large size of individuals and had multiple versions of that. That's kind of died down a little bit. And sure, we're seeing a lot of hype in the small group sector, but a lot of people are focusing on shifting their gym model to be more weight present, body weight present, physical iron weight present, where that's what they use. So we've got all this happening in our industry. What's really going to happen to Tribe?
Yeah. And I definitely think things are shifting, but there's always going to be a need for community. And I am a big fan of technology, passionate about AI. And I think it's only going to enhance our programming and the way we deliver our product. So while I do think things are shifting, I don't think this is going anywhere. Like, I'm never going to want to not do Tribe. I personally do it myself. So yes, I do think the industry is changing, and we definitely plan on staying abreast of everything and making sure that we are following the latest trends. But at the end of the day, like, we need community. And especially if we're going to be shifting more tech focused and AI driven, we can't replace the human connection. So I don't think that's going anywhere. That's my personal opinion.
You don't want to talk to robots.
Yeah. So I mean, I do already, but I love my Tribers.
Yeah, I agree with you on the human connection thing.
You can't replace human connection.
Yeah.
You can't replace accountability. You can't replace the coaching expertise. You can't replace real-time motivation. You can't replace technique corrections, personal engagement, trust in relationships. And these are all the things that keeps the members engaged. So while AI-driven workouts are growing and the virtual training platforms, they're growing as well, Jack hit the nail on the head. The human connection, the group interaction. And if I ever ask any of my Tribers, why do you keep coming back? It's the accountability. Nobody's going to be accountable to a robot. We're not there yet.
So let's shift gears here for a second, because we're coming to a close here. And I think for every business, at least I hope for every business, they're thinking this way, which is, I'm putting my time and energy into building an asset. I think we have a lot of hobbyists in our industry that get into it for the reasons of passion, and they grow into it and they really haven't learned business yet. They still struggle with it. I know that I did for many years. And it started off as a hobby and a passion. And I'm fortunate enough and thankful enough to still be in it, having had to learn the business side of things. But doing this, you have to really, you're investing not only your time and energy, but you're a lot of times investing money in a lot of it. And at some point, you want that to be an asset that you have that you can sell or exit from. 10 years from now, okay, when you guys are looking back, if tribe team training fails, okay, let's just assume it fails. What would be the reason that it would fail? And what's the one thing that could really break the company that you have? I mean, that's a hard question to answer, I know.
No,
But
I think that's an easy question.
Yeah, it's
okay,
an easy question.
let's hear it.
Jack, I already know what you're going to say, so I'll let you go.
Yeah. I mean, let's say if we're assuming that it's going to fail, which it's not going to, but let's say it did. The main reason would be execution and not driving the product and not, and just giving up. So we don't plan on doing that. And I that's the only reason I would see it failing is giving up.
Okay. What's the plan for the future then for you guys?
Yeah. We plan on expanding, offering different modules based on the latest fitness trends. We have a few other ideas about partnering with other companies. So yeah, there's a lot of exciting things outside of the 6 modules that we're currently offering.
How does it change those who are already licensing Tribe? How does it change things for them? What you guys are planning?
Oh, well, that on a macro scale, what they're going to get is Tribe had, let's say, a core set of, we'll say, 200 movements based across all their modules. Just like anything, it's getting a fresh set of eyes on it. So we're looking to enhance movements and create more movements within a functional fitness, animal flow kind of space. I think existing clubs are going to be very excited about the upcoming seasons because we're going to look at new formulas. We're going to look at new formats. We're going to look at new movements. I think clubs are going to be very happy with the way they're going to restructure. As we like to say, some people say the whiteboard, but what's on the whiteboard is the formula, which is actually the workout. I think a lot of clubs are going to be very excited about how we have a warm up, how our cool down is going to look for certain modules that did not have a cool down before. And to go back to what Jack said and a question you asked about going to iron and people are looking for that iron. Michael, we're already ahead of the industry where we had our 5 modules where we didn't have anything that was really based in strength training. We created Tribe Fit Strong, which is based on that strength training, which has your barbells and your landmines, where you're not having that chase cardio effect, where you are looking to build more muscle development and more muscle mass and more overall functional strength. But just to kind of go backwards on that one a little bit.
Good. Well, guys, I appreciate both of you being on here. I mean, I asked you some tough questions because I know that a lot of times gym owners are always constantly looking for solutions. I mean, the biggest question that they have is how do I grow my business? How do I add more revenue to my business? And how do I prevent people from leaving? Those are the 2 primary things that they're always trying to do. So I think you guys hit a lot of the important points that gym owners are looking to do. And I've had plenty of conversations over the past year, and it seems like small group training is a solution for people who aren't building a community, right? I mean, all of these other franchise groups, they have a model in place, and it's the reason why they became franchises, because they have something that was working and they're able to replicate it. You guys are doing a very similar thing on the licensing side, and you're allowing people to come in at a lower cost without having to franchise a brand. You're giving them the opportunity to not have to label the program Tribe. You can fit within their own core modules of their own business, and they don't have to pay a lot for this stuff. I mean, and they get a revenue boost and it builds community. And those are all the things that reason why people leave any gym is because they don't feel like they need to be there. They don't feel like they have anybody holding them accountable, and they don't feel like there's any community, any reason to go. So I think what you guys are doing is really great. So I apologize for some of the hard questions, but I know that you guys.
I didn't think anything was hard.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. You guys answered them flawlessly. I mean, so for other people, it may have been difficult, but for you guys, you just breezed right through it. So again, thank you.
How close to Vero Beach are you?
Right around 45 minutes.
there is a tribe at Element in Vero Beach where our master coach, Ron, comes from. So if you're ever in the Vero Beach area, Element, which is a pretty good facility, they were in tribe there. So feel free to go and hop in and ask for Ron. I'm sure
I wrote his name down. Yeah. Plus I got to record
it. Shout out Element.
So, as far as people finding you guys, I know that they can go online. They can look at tribeteamtraining.com. And if they're interested in getting involved in Tribe Team Training, learning a little bit more, I'll put that in our show notes. But if they're, driving and they got this on their mind and they want to, get to a stopping point and look you guys up, how can they get in touch with you guys?
You can email either of us, Jeff or Jack at tribeteamtraining.com. I'd love to give them my phone number. I don't know how good that is.
Yeah, good luck on that one, man.
I would not do that.
But thank God Jack's there to tell me no.
Save the day.
Jeff or Jack at tribeteamtraining.com, info at tribeteamtraining.com. If they want to call Inlet Fitness in Virginia Beach, Virginia, call Inlet Fitness, ask for Jeff or Jack.
Awesome. Both of you, thanks so much for joining the show. I really appreciate it. I know we had some trouble there with the Chrome browser loading and all that stuff, but really enjoyed
talking about. It wasn't any trouble.
Yeah. Really enjoyed talking with both of you.
You as well. Thank you so much, Michael.
Thank you. And if any of you have questions that are listening about Tribe Team Training, feel free to reach out. And as you always know, if someone needs to hear this episode or any of the other episodes, sharing is caring. My kids always say this, and you hear it on the end of every episode. So I appreciate you guys doing that. I'll see you guys on the flip side.